Glory driving, game taking, don't mess with TCSing. Buzzer beating Big Side basketball team champions, Mr. Hickey and Mr. Chris. After winning the championship, we asked the players to identify our most important loss of the season. Many pointed to our second game against Greenwood College in the opening case tournament. About 6.5 minutes into the first quarter, we were down 23-0. In this moment, I made a decision that I think was quite baffling to the players at the time. I took out my cell phone and I started snapping pictures of the scoreboard. When we got home to TCS, we shared the image with the players and asked them to print out a copy and place it somewhere where they could view it every day. As it turned out, we had 3 more games to come against Greenwood, so they instantly became our measuring stick for progress. In Game 2, there was marked improvement in our play, but we lost a heartbreaker in overtime. Better, but it still felt like Greenwood was the big brother toying with the younger sibling. Game 3, tight back and forth battle that ultimately swung in our favor. An important victory, but it felt somewhat hollow because Greenwood's best player was sidelined for the game. Game 4 was a non-contest. We were clearly the better team and ultimately won by 24 points, a 52-point swing from that opening 28-point loss. What I think is great about this story is that when we surveyed the players, that early loss to Greenwood was just one of 3 losses that they identified as important to our success, which I think says a lot about how good teams process their losses. What an incredible season of perseverance, determination, and Coach Hickey and I couldn't have felt more privileged to be along for the ride. So thank you to all the players.
The John W. Barnett Trophy, I think I got that right, is the Big Side Basketball Most Valuable Player Award. On a championship team, no one wins a championship alone. Right? All 12 guys played a role at various times throughout the season, sacrificing, doing what we needed to, bringing the big games, bringing the energy, and genuinely could give this award to any combination of our top 6 guys, and I would be okay with that. But I can't give an award to 6 guys, I gotta pick. So, without further ado, we settled on 2. So please congratulate our 2 big-time scorers come playoff time. Coming up, Charles Grant and Tyson Koyama-Asada.
Yeah. Hey. Championship. Like, yeah. Hey. Yeah. Hey. Hey. Yeah. I got the feeling we taking it all the way. I gotta get to the Hall of Fame. Been on the ground with a small delay. That's what it takes when you on your job. I'm working till everything fall in place. Like, nah, we not gonna fall today.
If you want to know how in sync Big Side basketball was this season, I'll just start by saying Coach Hickey and I wrote our speeches completely independently. I recently came across a concept in the film industry called second screen viewing. This essentially refers to the idea that movie producers are now asking screenwriters to simplify scripts so that when viewers lose their focus by doing things such as scrolling on their phones, they don't miss key elements of the plot. I know we are dealing with a highly focused and intelligent audience here, but to ensure that my own shortcomings as a presenter do not fail to maintain intention while I convey the excellence of our distinction winner, I'm going to make things particularly easy. Here we go. The date is January 31st, 2024. Big Side Basketball is playing the seldom defeated CISSA powerhouse and eventual OFSA AAA medalist St. Michael's College. It's on TCS home court and the fans are engaged because things are going well for the Bears. There's one issue. The fouls are beginning to accumulate against TCS. Coach Hickey looks down the bench, and his eyes meet a scrawny grade 10 sitting on the edge of his seat, just waiting for the coach to call his name. He's waved in and sprints to the table. Once on the floor, he plants himself in the corner on offense, and the ball almost instantly finds his hands. Without hesitation, he lets the ball fly, swish. A few minutes later, he finds himself in the same position again, and one more time the ball finds the bottom of the hoop. Minutes later, he takes his third three-pointer in about 5 minutes, and this time the ball hits the rim, bounces high, and then falls directly through the mesh. The halftime horn buzzes, St. Mike's is stunned, and no one has challenged them like this entire season. Who is this kid? This, folks, is foreshadowing. As your presenter, I will now bring us to the current day for some characterization in Act 1, the setup. Well, what is the objective? What is it that our young hero wants? He wants to lead. He desires to play a key role in the team. And most of all, he wants to win. How does he do it? With machine-like precision. For this part, we'll use some symbolism. In your mind's eye, picture a car, perhaps a Dodge Hellcat, reliable, powerful, and classically designed. When you see such a car on the street among a sea of other vehicles, you take notice. It stands out. Right from the opening tournament, our hero stood out. He was reliable and a powerful presence on the court, making it clear to our onlooking opponents that they needed to take notes. For the season, his effective field goal percentage was 43, an impressive number for a high school level. He was deadly beyond the arc, connecting on 58 three-pointers over the course of the season. 9 times during the season, he connected on 3 or more three-pointers in a game. 6 times he shot perfect 100% from the free throw line. His mid-range game is a throwback, and it's so deadly his coaches have to plead with him to use it more. And this type of production extends beyond the confines of our own league. In a game against Nicholson, the 5th-ranked single-A team in the province, he went toe-to-toe with their star player, connecting on 5 three-pointers and scoring a team-high 20 points. He sits comfortably among some of the greatest shooters in TCS history, and a good argument could be made for being its most clutch. In the NBA, teams now track what is known as clutch shooting, essentially indicating scores that happen during the last few minutes of the game when a game is close. Our hero had an uncanny knack for making a high percentage of shots in exactly this situation. To give a few examples, January 7th, he coolly hits 2 free throws with 1 second left to send the game into overtime. January 19th, he hits a three-pointer that turned out to be the game-winning shot. February 19th, he made a go-ahead three-pointer late in the 4th quarter, and then seconds later connects on another three-pointer and helps secure a win. Folks, these are just a few examples of a longer list of crunch-time baskets. But this is not all. He possesses elite footwork, ball fakes, and decision-making skills. These are the type of skills that do not develop by chance. For this part of the story, we will use a flashback. Picture an empty gym, save for a ball, our young hero, and his trainer. No opponents, no referees, no fans, just hours upon hours of repetition. And not just shots, but the seemingly endless dance rehearsal of the proper steps, motions, and decisions, over and over and over again. All of this is just have skills that most untrained eyes would overlook, but would ultimately make him the premier player in our league in these areas. Early in the season, the team needed this from him. There were many new players learning the ropes, and the systems needed to be implemented slowly. It was a team with potential, but one that needed time. So he bought his time. But then something important happened. When the other players were ready to go, he made space for them. He subtly stepped aside and allowed others space to shine, not in place of him, but alongside of him. And it was this remarkable piece of leadership that ultimately led to our team's success. That brings us now to Act 2, conflict. For our young hero, the oppositional forces come in 3. Well, over our 22-game season, the vast majority of his games were exceptional. A couple were not. The difficulty when you're so good is that it doesn't take long for your opponents to become aware. This means in rematches, you get the best defender and the full focus of the entire defense. Conflict 1, Appleby. In this away game, the Appleby players clutched and grabbed our young hero, not giving him an inch of space, and the referees were no help. But it's not just the physicality, it's the words being used. They have teeth. The game ends, there can only be frustration. Conflict 2, Ridley. They've studied hours of game tape on him. He is blanketed by the most athletic player in our league, who doesn't bite on any fakes and leaves no rooms for shots. Another frustrating loss in game. Conflict 3, the inner demons. For this, we will again use a flashback. This time, it's a montage of scenes from his previous 2 seasons. Already an immensely talented player, but with an exceptionally high and sometimes impossible self-standard. He wants to make every shot. On the occasions when he doesn't, the demons come out. They're holding him back from his greatness, but he doesn't see it yet. We have now arrived at Act 3, the resolution. There are 5 games remaining in our season, and to have a realistic chance of winning the championship, we have to run the table. In a bizarre turn of fate, we have to play Appleby in 3 consecutive games. Over the course of those games, our hero connects on 12 three-pointers and averages 18 points a game. Monkey number 1 has been swiped from the back. In the celebrations that follow the semifinal win, he takes a moment to console Appleby's star. It's a victory within victories. Next, the finals. The opponent, Ridley. Not just a challenge for our hero, but a team that has been a thorn in the side of Big Side all season long. When the final horn sounds, TCS is the CISSA League champion, and the hero has made 5 three-pointers and scored 17 points. And last, the inner challengers. Perhaps not completely silenced, but now subdued and rendered ineffective. They would occasionally come barking as before, but no longer with the power that once held, which sets the stage for another appropriate piece of symbolism. There is a tradition in Japanese artistic culture that when a piece of pottery is broken, it is not discarded. Rather, it is pieced back together by filling each crack with gold. It becomes something new, something more beautiful. The cracks are not hidden, they are highlighted. It is perfected in perfection. So now we have all of the pieces. It's time to complete our character's arc. For this, we'll return to our car symbolism. A Hellcat calls for the spotlight, but not everyone understands what they see. A Hellcat is loud and sometimes flashy, but what happens when you open up and look under the hood? Inside is a V8. It's the best. Note to audience, we're now talking about the young man's heart. Was he a leader? Did he play a key role in the team's success? Is he a winner? Yes, yes, and yes. But with all these accomplishments, one more desire surfaces for our character. Perhaps it's something unexpected. What does our hero really want? Not just to be a winner, but to share this experience with his closest friends. It means nothing without them. Along this journey, was it perfect? No, but that's the point. It never needed to be. As with all individuals who have lived a life and accomplished anything, it was perfected in perfection. Audience, if you have missed it, this is a story of incredible personal growth, exceptional performance, and most importantly, a deep love a deep level of love and devotion to his craft, his teammates, and TCS. I'm now going to use silence as my final device to allow a dramatic attention to build. Please join me in congratulating distinction winner Tyson Koyama-Asada.